Lowestoft is a town in the English county of Suffolk. The town is on the North Sea coast and is the most easterly point of the United Kingdom. It is 110 miles northeast of London, 38 miles northeast of Ipswich and 22 miles southeast of Norwich. It is situated on the edge of the Broad system and is the major settlement within the district of Waveney with an estimated population of 58,560 in 2010. Some of the earliest evidence of settlement in Britain has been found in Lowestoft, and the town has a long history. It is a port town which developed due to the fishing industry, and a traditional seaside resort. It has wide, sandy beaches, 2 piers and a number of other tourist attractions. Whilst its fisheries have declined, the development of oil and gas exploitation in the southern North Sea in the 1960s led to the development of the town, along with nearby Great Yarmouth, as a base for the industry. This role has since declined and the town has begun to develop as a centre of the renewable energy industry within the east of England. History: following the discovery of flint tools in the cliffs at Pakefield in South Lowestoft in 2005, the human habitation of the Lowestoft area can be traced back 700,000 years. This establishes Lowestoft as one of the earliest known sites for human habitation in Britain. The area was settled during the Neolithic, Bronze and Iron Ages and during the Roman and Saxon periods, with a Saxon cemetery producing a number of finds at Bloodmill Hill in South Lowestoft. The settlement's name is derived from the Viking personal name {loʊstəf} and {loʊstəft}, a Viking word for homestead. The town's name has been spelled variously: {loʊstəft}, {loʊstəf}, {loʊstəf}, {loʊstəft} and {loʊstəft}. At the Domesday Survey the village was known as {loʊstəft} and was relatively small with a population of around 16 households comprising, in 1086, 3 families, 10 smallholders and 3 slaves. The manor formed part of the king's holding within the hundred of Lothian and was worth about 4 geld in tax income. Roger Bigot was the tenant-in-chief of the village. The village of Akerthorpe may have been located close to Lowestoft. In the Middle Ages Lowestoft became an increasingly important fishing town. The industry grew quickly and the town grew to challenge its neighbour Great Yarmouth. The trade, particularly fishing for herring, continued to act as the town's main identity until the 20th century. In June 1665 the Battle of Lowestoft, the first battle of the Second Anglo-Dutch War, took place 40 miles off the coast of the town. The battle resulted in a significant victory for the English fleet over the Dutch. In the 19th century, the arrival of Sir Samuel Morton Peto brought about a change in Lowestoft's fortunes. Railway contractor Peto was contracted by the Lowestoft Railway and Harbour Company to build a railway line between Lowestoft and Reedham. This stimulated the further development of the fishing industry and the port of Lowestoft in general. The development of the port boosted trade with the continent. Peto's railway not only enabled the fishing industry to get its product to market, but assisted the development of other industries such as engineering and helped to establish Lowestoft as a flourishing seaside holiday resort. During World War I, Lowestoft was bombarded by the German Navy on 24 April 1916 in conjunction with the Easter Rising. The port was a significant naval base during the war, including for armed trawlers such as Ethel and Millie and Nelson, which were used to combat German U-boat actions in the North Sea such as the action of 15 August 1917. In World War II, the town was heavily targeted for bombing by the Luftwaffe due to its engineering industry and role as a naval base. It is sometimes claimed that it became one of the most heavily bombed towns per head of population in the UK. The Royal Naval Patrol Service, formed primarily from trawlermen and fishermen from the Royal Naval Reserve, was mobilised at Lowestoft in August 1939. The service had its central depot HMS Europa, also known as Sparrow's Nest, in the town. Many Lowestoft fishermen served in the patrol service. Lowestoft Porcelain, during the second half of the 18th century a factory in Crown Street produced soft-paste porcelain ware. Items still exist, and there are collections at the museum in Nicholas Everett Park, Alton Broad, and at the Castle Museum, Norwich. The factory produced experimental wares in about 1756 and first advertised their porcelain in 1760, operating until about 1801. The factory was in production for longer than any English soft-paste porcelain producer other than Royal Worcester and Royal Crown Derby. Lowestoft collectors divide the factory's products into three distinct periods: early Lowestoft circa 1756 to 1761, middle period circa 1761 to 1768 and late period circa 1768 to the closure of the factory in about 1801. During the early period, wares decorated with Chinese-inspired scenes and underglaze blue were produced. This type of decoration continued throughout the life of the factory, but scenes were gradually simplified. Overglaze colors in enamel were used from about 1768. The factory, which was built on the site of an existing pottery or brick kiln, was later used as a brewery and malt kiln. Most of the remaining buildings were demolished in 1955. Government: Lowestoft is the major settlement in Waveney District Council. It is a former municipal borough, having lost this status in 1974, although it retains a ceremonial mayor. The mayor of Lowestoft is elected by councillors annually. Suffolk County Council is the local authority. The town is part of the Waveney parliamentary constituency and currently represented at Westminster by Conservative Peter Aldous. Former MPs include Bob Blizzard, David Porter and Jim Pryor, a cabinet minister and Secretary of State for Northern Ireland in the Thatcher governments, who also represented the former constituency of Lowestoft. For European Union elections, Lowestoft forms part of the East of England constituency. For district election purposes, Lowestoft is divided into 10 electoral wards, with Carlton Colville treated as a separate electoral area. Harbour, Kirkley, Normanston, Pakefield, St Margaret's and Whitton wards elect 3 councillors each, with Carlton, Gunton and Corton, Alton and Alton Broad wards electing 2 district councillors. Of the 48 council seats in the district, 26 represent wards within Lowestoft, with 3 more representing Carlton Colville. In 2010 the council changed to a whole council election process, with all seats on the council elected at one set of elections every 4 years. The most recent district council elections were on 5 May 2011, at which the Labour Party won 19 of the Lowestoft seats, a gain of 4 seats, concentrated in the central areas of the town. The Conservative Party won 6 seats, with 1 independent candidate retaining their seat in Alton Ward. At Suffolk County Council, Lowestoft and its immediate surrounding area are represented by 8 councillors, split equally between 4 electoral divisions: Gunton, Lowestoft South, Alton and Pakefield. For county council elections, Pakefield division includes Carlton Colville. Elections take place every 4 years, with the most recent elections in May 2013. 5 of Lowestoft's county councillors represent the Labour Party and 3 the UK Independence Party, after the Conservative Party lost all 7 of its seats in May 2013. Geography: Lowestoft is the easternmost town in the United Kingdom. The town lies on the North Sea coast and is located 110 miles northeast of London, 38 miles northeast of Ipswich and 22 miles southeast of Norwich. The town is divided in 2 by Lake Lothing, which forms Lowestoft Harbour and provides access via Alton Broad and Alton Dyke to the River Waveney and the Broads. Lowestoft is mainly low-lying, although with areas of steep hills in the north of the town where the highest points are 30 metres above sea level. The underlying rock is crag sand with overlying sand and glacial till deposits with gravel, with the crag being exposed at coastal cliffs such as at Pakefield. Areas around Lake Lothing feature alluvium silt and some marshland remains west of Alton Broad. The beaches to the south of the harbour are sandy and have blue flag status. Towards the north of the harbour is an area of old sand dunes known locally as the Denes, as well as more beaches and Ness Point, the easternmost point of the UK. Lowestoft has been subject to periodic flooding, most notably in January 1953, when a North Sea swell driven by low pressure and a high tide swept away many of the older sea defences and deluged most of the southern town. Heavy rain caused flash flooding in the town in September 2006. December 2013 storm surge caused severe flooding of Lowestoft and its suburbs in December 2013. Lowestoft is in one of the driest areas of the United Kingdom and receives less than 600 mm of rainfall a year on average. Rainfall is fairly evenly distributed throughout the year. Summer temperatures will tend to reach 21 degrees Celsius in August, when the town averages over 200 hours of sunshine, whilst in winter minimum temperatures average 2 degrees Celsius. Significant snowfall is rare. Sea fog and cool onshore breezes can affect the town. Population and topography. Lowestoft is Suffolk's second largest town with an estimated population of 58,560 in 2010. Including the suburban areas of Alton and Carlton Colville, which are part of the wider urban area, brings this population to 71,010, up from 64,358 at the 2001 census. The town contains a variety of business and residential areas, with the main shopping centre lying just to the north of Lake Lothing. The wider Lowestoft urban area includes the suburbs of Carlton Colville, Gunton, Pigfield, Alton and Alton Broad, as well as the district of Kirkley. Outlying villages associated with Lowestoft include Blundeston, Corton, Gisleham, Kessingland and Somerleyton. Demography. Around a tenth of the Lowestoft area's population of 64,358 at the 2001 census was aged 75 or over, whereas 20% was aged under 16. In general, the population of a number of wards within the town is slightly skewed towards elderly people. The population is mainly classified as white, with minority ethnic groups making up around 1.4% of the population of the town compared to around 8.7% nationally. At the 2001 census there were 27,777 households with an average household size of 2.40. In total 8,430 households were classified as one-person households, while 26% included children aged 15 or under. The proportion of households without a car was 29%, whilst 22% had 2 or more cars. In terms of housing tenure, 72% of households were owner-occupied. Economy. Originally based on the fishing and engineering industries, the economy of Lowestoft has declined over the years. Although the tourism sector has grown, the major employers in the town are in the wholesale and retail sector, making up 18% of employment. Service industries, including health and social care and education, are significant employers, whilst manufacturing employs around 10% of the workforce. Employment in the town can vary seasonally due to the importance of tourism to the economy. In early 2011, around 10% of the working population of the town claimed job seekers allowance. Traditional industries. Until the mid-1960s, fishing was perceived as Lowestoft's main industry, although from the 1930s the percentage of those employed directly and in trades associated with fishing was actually only around 10% of the working population. Fleets of drifters and trawlers caught fish such as herring, cod and plaice. Catches have diminished since the 1960s and, although by the 1980s 100 boats remained, there are now only a few small boats operating out of Lowestoft, with no trawlers remaining. By 2011 just 3 traders remained at the town's fish market, which is under threat of closure due to the redevelopment of the port. The Centre for Environment, Fisheries and Aquaculture Science, a large fisheries research centre, which is a part of TFRA, is still located in Lowestoft. Other major traditional employers included the Eastern Coach Works and a variety of engineering and shipbuilding companies clustered around the harbour. These included Brook Marine and Richards Shipbuilding Companies, who together employed over 1,000 men but went out of business in the 1990s, and Norwich-based engineering company Bolton and Paul. Some shipbuilding and repair still goes on in the harbour. Modern economy. Major current local employers include Bird's Eye Frozen Foods, which employs 700 workers. The company has been located in the town for over 60 years. Food processing company Wessex Foods closed its Lowestoft plant in 2010 after a major fire destroyed the factory and the company was unable to find alternative premises. A number of other local employers have had to make redundancies in recent years. The Sanyo plant in the town closed down in 2009 with the loss of 60 jobs. The plant once employed 800 people. Timber company Geldwen closed their factory in the town in 2010. From the mid-1960s to the later 1990s, The oil and gas industry provided significant employment in the Lowestoft area. For many years the Shell Southern Operations base on the north shore of Lowestoft Harbour was one of the town's largest employers. A decision to close the Shell base was finally made in 2003. The oil and gas industry is still a significant industry within the town. The town has attempted to develop itself as a centre for the development of renewable energy in the east of England. The non-profit Orbeez Energy Centre has been set up to attract business in the green energy sector to the town and features solar thermal heating. In April 2009, Associated British Ports announced that the harbour is to become the operations centre for the 500 MW Greater Gabbard offshore wind farm which, when completed, will be the world unregistered trademark's largest offshore wind farm. The turbines will be located 15 miles off the Suffolk coast, and Lowestoft unregistered trademark's outer harbour is being used to house the necessary operational support facilities. Other developments in the renewable energy sector include a prototype tidal energy generator being produced by local company 4NRG and wave power systems developed by Trident Energy. Retailing, the town centre is the main shopping area within Waveney district. Major retailers such as Marks & Spencer and British Home Stores have stores in the town. Chad's independent department store was founded in 1907 and after nearly 100 years trading on the high street and was taken over in 2004 by the Great Yarmouth-based Palmer's Group. Specialist shopping areas, branded as the historic High Street and the Triangle Marketplace, have been developed on the northern edge of the centre, while a number of retail parks have been developed in the town. Tourism. Lowestoft is a traditional seaside resort, first developing as a bathing site in the 1760s. The coast has been branded the Sunrise Coast. The town's main beaches are to the south of the harbour where two piers, the Claremont and South Piers, provide tourist facilities and the East Point Pavilion is the site of the Tourist Information Service. The beach south of the Claremont Pier is a blue flag beach. Lifeguard facilities are provided during the summer and water sports take place along the coast. Tourism is a significant aspect of the town's economy. Pleasurewood Hills Theme Park is situated on the northern edge of the town. In the west at Alton Broad boat trips and water sports on the Broads and River Waveney are attractions, with companies such as Hoseasons operating hire boats from Alton Broad. To the South Africa Alive at Kessingland is a major attraction whilst Pontins operates a holiday park at Pakefield where 160 jobs were created in 2010. A major attraction in recent years was Lowestoft Air Show, founded in 1996. The two-day event, which took place in August, featured a wide range of aircraft including Dread Arrows, a Lancaster bomber, Spitfires and an Afro Vulcan. The event, which was run by Lowestoft Seafront Air Festival Limited, a not-for-profit company, since 2004, had financial difficulties and made a £40,000 a loss in 2010. Further financial difficulties, made worse by bad weather and low visitor numbers in 2012, mean that the 2012 air show was the last to take place. Redevelopment. Lowestoft is one of the more socially deprived areas in Suffolk, with Kirkley the most deprived ward in the county ranking 173rd most deprived in England. The area has attracted European Union redevelopment funding. The Waveney Sunrise Scheme invested £14.7 million in the town, including the transport improvements and the development of tourist facilities such as fountains on Royal Plain, in an attempt to stimulate the local economy. Regeneration Company First East, which focused on the Lowestoft and Great Yarmouth areas, closed in 2011. The town was announced as a location for an enterprise zone in August 2011. The plan, developed by New Anglia Local Enterprise Partnership, will be based around 6 redevelopment sites across Lowestoft and Great Yarmouth and aim to create 13,500 jobs by 2036. The bid, which involves the Norfolk and Suffolk Energy Alliance, will focus on developing the energy sector initially using a variety of tax incentives, simplified planning regulations and the provision of improved broadband internet services. The harbour is the focus for redevelopment proposals for Lowestoft in the form of the Lake Lothing and Outer Harbour Area Action Plan submitted in February 2011. The plan focuses on the redevelopment of brownfield sites in and around the harbour area to create jobs, particularly in the renewable energy and retailing sectors. Culture and community. The town has two theatres, the Marina Theatre and the Seagull Community Theatre. Operated as a charitable trust, the 800-seat marina was substantially restored and refurbished in 2012 and its cinema was upgraded to digital in 2013. A small 4-screen cinema, the independently owned East Coast Cinema, underwent a modest refurbishment in late 2011 to upgrade facilities and allow 3D films to be shown. The beach radio station broadcasts to Lowestoft and the surrounding area, as does BBC Radio Suffolk. The local weekly paper is the Lowestoft Journal, which is part of the Arcant Group. The Royal Philharmonic Orchestra has been resident at the Marina Theatre since 2005. Lowestoft Museum, which holds a collection of Lowestoft porcelain as well as artifacts describing the town's history, is in Nicholas Everett Park in Alton Broad. A number of small museums are located in Sparrow's Nest Park in the north of the town, including the Lowestoft War Memorial Museum, the Maritime Museum and the Royal Naval Patrol Service Museum. The Heritage Workshop Centre is also located in the park. The Minkalo is the last surviving sidewinder trawler of the Lowestoft fishing fleet and can be visited at Lowestoft Harbour. The East Anglia Transport Museum, which holds a collection of buses, trams and trolley buses, is located in Carlton Colville. Lowestoft retains a number of narrow lanes with steps running steeply towards the sea, known locally as scores. These were used by fishermen and smugglers in the past and are now the site of an annual race which raises money for charity. The Barra Church is dedicated to St. Margaret and is a Grade I listed building. Lowestoft Library, located in the centre of the town, contains a local history section and a branch of the Suffolk Record Office. Lowestoft Hospital provides community care for the elderly as well as a variety of other services. The town is currently twinned with the French town of Plaisir in the Yvelines department in the Île-de-France to the west of Paris. It was formerly twinned with Dutch town of Katwijk, which is due east from Lowestoft on the North Sea coast. Landmarks. Ness Point, the most easterly location in the United Kingdom, is located in the town close to a 126-metre-high wind turbine known locally as Gulliver. At the time it was completed, the turbine was the tallest in the United Kingdom. At the most easterly point is a large compass rose, the Euroscope, set in the ground which gives the direction and distance to various cities in Europe. Bellevue Park is the site of the Royal Naval Patrol Service Memorial. The central depot for the service was in Lowestoft when it was mobilised in Augusta 1939 on a site known as Sparrow's Nest adjacent to the memorial. The memorial has the names of the 2,385 members of the service who died in World War II. Lighthouse, Lowestoft High Lighthouse, located to the north of the town centre, was built in 1874 and stands 16 metres tall, 37 metres above sea level. The Light, which is a range of 23 nautical miles, was automated in 1975. The first two lighthouses in Lowestoft were built in 1609, on the foreshore on Candlelit, to give warning of the dangerous sandbanks around the coast. By lining up the two lights, vessels could navigate the Stamford Channel, which no longer exists. They were rebuilt in 1628 and again in 1676. It was at this time that one light was moved up onto the cliffs above the Denes, the location of the present lighthouse, to assist vessels further out to sea. The remaining low light was discontinued in 1706 following sea encroachment, but re-established in 1730 in a form that could be easily moved in response to further changes to the Stamford Channel and shoreline. It was finally discontinued in August 1923. The High Light Tower was rebuilt as the present lighthouse in 1874 with the intention of displaying an electric light, but when opened paraffin oil was used instead. It was not until 1936 that it was electrified. The lighthouse, along with two cottages originally used by lighthouse keepers, is a Grade II listed building. Lifeboat Station. Lowestoft Lifeboat Station is located at the mouth of the outer harbour at the South Pier. The station is one of the oldest in the British Isles, founded in 1801, and is opening to visitors throughout the year. The current lifeboat is Spirit of Lowestoft, a Tyne-class lifeboat which entered service in 1987. The Lowestoft lifeboat was used during the Dunkirk evacuation of British forces from France in 1940. The South Broads Lifeboat Station, an inland RNLI station, operated at Oulton Broad between 2001 and 2011. Town Hall. Lowestoft Town Hall stands on the High Street. Various forms of local government have met or been based on this site since the establishment of a townhouse and chapel here in 1570. In 1698 a new townhouse was built, incorporating a corner cross on the ground floor with the meeting chamber and chapel above. This in turn was replaced by the present building in 1857. It was later altered and extended in 1869-73. The building houses the town clock and the curfew bell, which dates from 1644 and is rung each evening at 8 p.m. In 2012 Waveney District Council announced that it planned to leave the town hall, and move to new premises on Riverside Road. This is due to take place in 2015. Transport. Lowestoft Railway Station, originally known as Lowestoft Central Station, is centrally placed within the town, within walking distance of the beach and the town centre. It provides services to Ipswich on the East Suffolk Line and to Norwich along the Wherry Line. Both lines were originally part of the Great Eastern Railway and are currently operated by Abellio Greater Anglia. The suburb of Oulton Broad has two stations. Oulton Broad North Station lies on the line to Norwich, while Oulton Broad South is on the line to Ipswich. Lowestoft North Railway Station, which was originally operated by the Norfolk and Suffolk Joint Railway, closed in 1970 when the Yarmouth to Lowestoft line closed. The site is now occupied by Beeching Drive, a residential area. Buses in Lowestoft are mainly operated by First Eastern Counties and Anglian Bus with Lowestoft Bus Station as the hub for routes. Buses link the town with Norwich and Great Yarmouth and provide public transport within the town and to surrounding villages. The X1 service operates a direct link to Peterborough and National Express coaches stop in Lowestoft on the route from London to Great Yarmouth. The main A12 road from London to Great Yarmouth passes through the centre of Lowestoft, crossing the harbour and the centre of the town on the Bascule Bridge. The A146 links Lowestoft with Beccles and Norwich, with a second road crossing of Lake Lothing at Oulton Broad on the A1117. Both bridges can be raised if vessels need to pass through the harbour and Lake Lothing, and this can cause congestion in the town and routes can become gridlocked. A third crossing of Lowestoft Harbour is proposed but has yet to receive planning or funding, although a Southern Relief Road diverts traffic away from the seafront to help reduce congestion, and a pedestrian and cycle bridge is planned to provide an alternative crossing alongside the Bascule Bridge. Lowestoft cycle network is generally fairly well developed, with routes focusing on linking areas to the town centre. Around 12% of residents cycle to work, and the town is considered to be ideally suited to cycling due to its relatively small size and flat landscape. Suffolk County Council is aiming to promote cycling in the town by working with employers and schools as well as through the funding of the pedestrian and cycle bridge in the town centre. Education. Lowestoft has a number of primary and high schools, including 411 Euro-16 high schools, the Benjamin Britten High School, Ormiston Deans Academy, East Point Academy and Pakefield School. Following a reorganisation of schools in Lowestoft, all 8 middle schools in the town closed in 2011 and Pakefield High School opened. Post-Euro-16 education is provided at Lowestoft's Sixth Form College, which opened in September 2011 as part of the school reorganisation, and Lowestoft College, which provides a range of academic and vocational courses. Lowestoft College provides a small range of higher education courses through an affiliation to University Campus Suffolk. Degrees are validated by the University of East Anglia and the University of Essex. The college also runs courses in boat building and a variety of courses designed to support the offshore and maritime industries, which are important employers in the town. Other adult education courses are run by the County Council from a base at the town library. Sport and leisure. Lowestoft has a variety of sports clubs and facilities. Lowestoft Town Football Club play at Crown Meadow and Kirkley, and Pakefield Football Club play at Warmer Road. Lowestoft Cricket Club play at the Dean's Oval Sports Ground. Other sports clubs include Waveney Gymnastics Club and Rookery Park Golf Club. The town's main leisure centre, the Waterlane Leisure Centre, was redeveloped at a cost of £8 million in 2010 €11. Facilities include a gym and climbing wall as well as a 25-metre swimming pool with a movable floor. Lowestoft has a number of parks and recreation grounds. The Broads National Park extends to Lowestoft on Alton Broad. Water activities and boat tours can be taken here. Powerboat racing takes place throughout the summer period, mainly on Thursday evenings. Fixtures are organised by the Lowestoft and Alton Broad Motor Boat Club and can attract up to 1,500 spectators. The Royal Norfolk and Suffolk Yacht Club has its clubhouse in Lowestoft Harbour. Notable people: the Elizabethan pamphleteer Thomas Nash, one of the fathers of modern journalism and a primary source for the literary milieu of William Shakespeare, was born in Lowestoft in 1567. Robert Potter, poet and translator of Greek drama, was vicar of Lowestoft until 1804. The 19th-century writer and traveller George Borrow lived in Alton Broad for many years and wrote most of his books there. Lieutenant General Sir Edwin Alderson also lived at Alton Broad, on a houseboat, and died in 1927 at the since-demolished Royal Hotel in Lowestoft where he was resident in his last month. Admiral Sir John Ashbey, who commanded HMS Victory at the battles of Barfleur and La Hogue in 1692, grew up in Suffolk and is buried in Lowestoft. A memorial to him is sited in St Margaret's Church in the town. Vice Admiral James Dacres fought in wars against America in the 19th century and was born in the town. Captain Thomas Crisp V.C., Royal Navy officer, was born in the town. One of the town's main roads is named after him. Sir Samuel Morton Peto, bought Somerleyton Hall in 1843, and is one of the town's main roads named after him. He was influential in developing the town's railway links and its harbour. Sir Christopher Cockerill, inventor of the hovercraft, lived in Alton Broad, and tested craft in Somerleyton. Economist Sir Dennis Home Robertson was born in Lowestoft in 1890. He was educated on a scholarship at Eton, and read classics and economics at Trinity College, Cambridge before teaching at Cambridge University, working closely with Keynes. The philanthropist Howard Hollingsworth, co-founder of Bourne and Hollingsworth department store, visited Lowestoft in 1908 and subsequently bought and renovated the burnt-out Briarcliff House and grounds on Gunton Cliff. He became a Lowestoft benefactor and, on the death of his friend Nicholas Everett, bought his estate at Alton Broad and gave it to Lowestoft to be used as a public park. He was made the first freeman of the borough of Lowestoft in 1929. The composer Benjamin Britten was born in Lowestoft in 1913. He has been described as without a doubt the greatest English classical composer of the last century, and the only person of real celebrity to have emerged from darkest Lowestoft. The Benjamin Britten High School and a small shopping centre in the town are named after the composer. The children's author and illustrator Michael Fullman was born in 1938, and spent his childhood years in Pakefield where his mother kept the grocer's shop. He went to Pakefield Primary School, and played on Hilly Green. Stories of which are recorded in his book War Boy. Photographer George Davison was also born in Lowestoft. Author of the Inspector Allen Mysteries, Jane Marie Barker, grew up in Alton Broad and has used Lowestoft as an inspiration for her books. The comedian and actor Karl Theobald was born in Lowestoft, as was BBC Radio 4 newsreader and television presenter Zeb Soanes and Tim Westwood, DJ and BBC radio presenter. Three of the founder members of the rock band The Darkness were educated in Kirkley, and some of their songs feature landmarks or stories from the local area. Lil Chris featured in Channel 4's Rock School program filmed at Kirkley High School and went on to have a musical career, whilst Leanne Mitchell, the winner of the first series of The Voice UK, lives in the town. Sportspeople associated with Lowestoft include former England football captain Terry Butcher, who was educated in Lowestoft. Others born in the town include former Ipswich Town goalkeeper Laurie Sevell, Norwich City defenders Paul Hylock and Darryl Such, New York Mets pitcher Les Roux and Olympic bronze medal-winning middleweight boxer Anthony Ogogo. Professional darts player Peter Wright lives in the town. References. External links. Nation on film. The rise and fall of the fishing industry on England's east coast, BBC website. Media related to Lowestoft at Wikimedia Commons.